What's good, everybody? This is the D&B Radio Show. I am here with Bader. Bader, say what's up.
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm a little tired. A long day, but I'm happy to be here as always.
Yeah, we get to talk about card games and things that go with card games. That is the idea of the show, though. We talk about card games and card game accessories. So, today we are going to be talking a lot about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Regional that happened over the weekend, because you and I both went to that. I will have a little bit of locals experience because I didn't play at locals this week, but I did go, just say what's up. And then we'll have a little bit of discussion later, and then, of course, at the end of the show, we got the fishbowl, and I have a few more things added to fishbowl. So, if you want to add your questions to fishbowl, feel free to send them to me or Bader, and I will get a hold of them and print them out and put them in. But kicking things off, let's talk about the regional. First things first. What did you play?
I played a last-minute change to my White Fourth Examina list that I've been playing at locals for the past couple weeks.
Okay, for sure. Did you plan on playing Samurai for that, or was that like were you always? I mean, you said you changed. So, what was your original plan?
So I was between Samurai and White Fourth Examina, and then I got a message from someone in our community asking if I had a deck to play, and I did not want him to borrow the White Forest deck just because I didn't want to give it out, pretty much. It's a fun deck, but if you just pick it up raw, you don't know what you're doing. So I didn't want him to be like, man, this deck sucks, when it doesn't suck. It's just sometimes you make misplays. Yeah.
All right.
So I gave Samurai, and it's still a hard deck to learn, but as soon as you get infinite counters on Gateway, the deck plays itself.
Yeah, so that's what's up, though. So you had two decks playing out at local, or I say locals, but at the regional. I mean, it was local because, I had to drive less than 5 minutes. So it's local to me, but it was a regional level. I think there was like 150-ish players.
I thought it was 170 something.
Okay, yeah. So I misheard, but I know that there was 24 invites.
Yes.
I did not get one of them. I went a solid like 2 and 5 before I decided I had enough Yu-Gi-Oh for the day, playing my Gren Maju deck.
Strong man. I don't think I would have stayed that long.
It was one of those. I was having a good time, and I'm really just there to hang out. So, and I'll say in my games, I mean, I can't say that I was just like straight up just losing them and getting, blown out. I definitely was in games for a very long time and then just had something unfortunate happen in most of them. So, did you want to start with your experience at the regional, or did you want me to start?
I'm sure mine's not going to be as detailed as yours, so I'll just run through mine real quick. I didn't take notes of my matches.
I didn't either. not for that.
Yeah, I went 4-4, unfortunately. Primarily losing to myself. Round one, I played against Salmon Great, and I feel bad for my opponent. I've met this man before. Really cool guy. I forget his name. He's from western Nebraska. So we're like casually talking, and as we're shuffling, like I'm not even exaggerating, like 8 people walk by, like, "Oh, what's up, Jeremy? What's up, Bader? Hey, how you doing, Team Bio?" So like, I feel like he's just getting intimidated by everyone thinking I'm a big name.
Yeah.
Or him thinking I'm a big name when it's all just people from locals, because obviously it's the Omaha Regional.
Oh, yeah.
But we play. I win the die roll. I proceed to full combo Examina White Force turn 1. Pass. He can't break through it. He's playing Solomon Great. we go to game 2. I draw my 5 cards. I see that there's this big ass rock in my hand, and I look at him. I was like, I'll let you play, and I'll tell you when I have an interruption. He does this whole Salomon Great combo. He's like, all right, I'll try to end my turn. I'm like, still in main phase. Activate Nibiru. So his board gets pushed into the graveyard, and I White Force combo and OTK him off that. So that was a fun round 1. But round 2, I played against the new big dog in the game, Fiendsmith's Ryziel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went to game 3. I don't remember too much of it. I believe I lost the die roll, but won game 1. Just because I could flip his field face down and do double piercing, easy game.
Yeah.
Game 3, I went first, and I forgot to activate a toy monster in the graveyard to special summon itself back, so I could have one more extender to go into IP Masquerena to make SP on my opponent's turn, and that was all the misplay that it was, and that was a big enough misplay to cost me the game. Because like my opponent was even like, yeah, man, had you made that SP on my turn, I was for sure not winning. Which sucked, but it is what it is. Round 3, I don't even remember, but it was a pretty. Oh, it was Fire King playing from someone from our locals. I kept flipping his board face down, doing double piercing, and he just, even after destroying stuff, he just could not out-resource me. Round 4, I played against a big name. I'm not sure. I'm sure you know Bruce.
Oh yeah.
Menard.
Yeah. I actually have a deck profile on. I maybe 1 or 2 of his deck profiles on my channel currently.
Oh, nice. We played. He was on again. Fiendsmith, Ryziel. Game 1, I don't exactly remember what I did, but he Ash Blossomed it. I was like, okay, cool. Activate Triple Tactics Talents to look at your hand and shuffle something back. He's like, okay. He showed his hand. It was another Ash Blossom, an Effective Veiler, a Bonfire, and a Ryziel monster. And then I just Freudian slipped, just blew the game. I said, I'm going to shuffle the Bonfire back, or I mean the Effect Veiler. And he's like, sorry, man, you said Bonfire. Put it back into his deck and shuffled. I'm like, fair enough. Because whatever you say initially is what the game, or what Konami says the rules are, even if you like mid-sentence cut yourself off. And that was enough to give him full combo, because my hand was like okay, but that Ash Veiler combo shut it down because it was only okay. And then game 2, he just blows me out. Then I don't remember the rest of my matchups. I remember round 8, I played against Fiendsmith Ryziel again. I played 4 of them, lost to 3 of them. And I IP'd on his turn to make Celine get some counters, but I forgot to special summon back one of my White Force Synchro monsters, Silvera, the one that Book of Moons the entire field. And if I would have done that, game 3, we had like 2 minutes left. I could have done that on his turn before he goes into battle phase after he activates all these XYZ monsters. And he wouldn't have been able to do enough damage because I had him down to like 3,200 life to my 8,000. So
yeah, goddamn.
Just misplays for days.
I don't know if my situations were exactly misplays or of just a bad deck build or just what. I mean, I am playing a casual deck, so I mean that is always going to be the biggest factors. I'm not playing a meta deck, and I'm playing into meta stuff, so I got to figure it out. But for my game 1, I lose. I don't remember exactly what I played. It was not a meta deck. And I definitely remember being like, man, that sucks. I should not have lost to that. But I think that about a lot of decks. So, my round 2, I played against Fiendsmith Kashtira. And I beat that deck. and I thought that was weird because I opened Shifter both games against him, and my brain immediately, when I'm thinking Kashtira cards, I'm thinking Shifter's not good against Kashtira cards. So like when I start Shifter and he goes, okay, cool, special summon Fenrir, I'm like, oh fuck, well that was a bad move. But he like doesn't really do much and then passes to me, and I'm like, oh sick, I've got Nemrelia cards in my deck right now, and I've got, a whole bunch of banish cards in my deck. I'm just gonna like, I think I actually ended up just barely OTKing him because game one I broke a board. And then game 2, he did not do anything. I shifted, and then he just passed. And then I had like a Bishul for the shifter. I had a Gizmek, and then I had 2 Eater of Millions, and I think that was like just barely over 8K. So I was like, perfect. I win that one. My round 3, I have to play against Ryzeal, and I lose because Ryzeal, pretty good deck, honestly. I don't know if your assessment was correct, because I think that deck's real good. But I think I just lose to the consistency of, them having, a bunch of starters and Bonfire, and then, just filling the rest of their deck with hand traps.
Yeah.
So my round 3, I lose this one too, but I cannot really say. I don't remember what I think I lose this one to Malice. And it was one of those, I really didn't think that I'm still, after like 2 weeks, I'm still not exactly sure what Malice is trying to do. Because I'm seeing like Firewall in some lists, and I'm seeing some people not even go into Firewall. So I'm like, what are we doing? So I feel like some people know how to play the deck, and I feel like some people do not. And then they're just trying to win with the value of it, and it's not. Those people I can just body. If you don't know what you're doing in Malice, I'm gonna destroy you. But yeah, I think I remember exactly siding Shifter out against that Malice. Like, and that's kind of what I'm assuming you're supposed to do, because like they're playing Shifter, so
Yeah.
I'm always gonna side out Shifter against decks that are playing Shifter themselves. Gives me space for trap cards. I think. Oh yeah, okay. So then my round 4, I end up winning. God, see, this is terrible because I didn't write down any notes, so I don't even know. I don't even remember what I was playing against. And I feel like with how my deck is set up, I'm like, if that is the case, like they choose not to do anything going first, because I'm always going to choose to go second if I win a dice roll. I opened Shifter a ton at the regional, and I will say I over opened Shifter. I feel like almost every single one of my matches I played Shifter at least one of the games. Yeah, so that not opening Shifter was not the problem. It was, I'm thinking finding the rest of the deck was kind of my issue.
The kill engine.
Yeah. I mean, because like, I don't know if you know what the Nemleria cards do, but the Pendulum Monster is a board wipe if you summon it, and you have to like dump your extra deck, which I'm already doing. So I dump my extra deck, and then I special summon this Pendulum Monster, and I can non-target banish cards from your field and graveyard. So if I get to resolve that, usually I'll win. But yeah, I don't, the rest of my games except for my game 7, I think I end up. I lose. I won 2 and I won 4. But the rest of the games I lost. So 1, 3, 5, and then 6 and 7. And then my round 7, I actually played against someone from our locals, and they were playing Stun Guru, and it was the same player that, if you remember from last week, lost because they didn't hold Imperm. They just won me, beating me with value of flipping monsters up and down. So can't win that one.
I don't remember. What's the first letter?
I can just say T-Mobile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I think that was the first time that they've beat me too, and they were real excited about it. So I'm like, that's cool. I'm glad you're excited, and I really, I seem salty when I lose. I mean, and it's mainly because I think I should be winning every single game, and that's just my mindset. Uh, so yeah, it hurts to lose, but I'm happy that he, got his first win against me, and he finally feels that like I'm a beatable opponent, because that is the
Nah.
player. That player will. I not only have seen him just not play games. I've he's like, oh, I have to play this person. You win. Like that's. I don't. If I'm doing that, it's probably because I don't like you as a person. So to see that happen just because they don't want to play against a person like that hurts me. So like I'm glad that that's hopefully done against me, because he has done that to me at least one time. So hopefully they're like, yeah, I can beat this guy now. I'm gonna play him. But yeah, that was my local. That was my regional. I did terribly again, 2-5. I was just hanging out to hang out, watching the whole supporting the team, and of course I stayed in the main event for way too long, so I didn't get to play any side events. That was there. I did beat. I want to say his name, but I beat someone from our locals in chess, and that was my big win for the day.
I think I know who.
Yeah, the only other our only other chess guy. Yeah, we were waiting for you because you had the person's deck and he had a card for you, so we're like, well, we're gonna post up at table 1 playing chess, and I guarantee Bader will come over and he'll find us. And sure enough, we were like 4 moves in, and you were. It was like we summoned you. You came right to us, and it was perfect.
Pawn to e4. I have arrived. The king is here.
That is how I started too. Pawn to e4. It's great. It's almost like it's the best move or something.
Well, aside from the event, like the play wise, was there anything interesting for you? I myself was looking for cards from vendors and people to trade with, and I couldn't find anything I was looking for, man.
It's Brittany B says, yeah, Bader, woo. So, what? Woo, Bader, woo.
Boo.
No, I can't say anything really interesting happened at the regional. I mean, just the casual, you're at the family reunion, you're hanging out, you're talking to all the people that you haven't, seen in probably like 2 or 3 months. Hi, his sister. Yeah. She says, what's up?
The sky.
Yeah, that's. I can't really say that I had a crazy regional, but it was, it's a family reunion. We get to hang out. We get to talk to the friends. We're all hanging out, I guess. I don't know. It is what it is. And then we get to go home. We don't have to, have a 3-hour drive home. Like definitely some of the people that I had played against, and, obviously Yu-Gi-Oh grinders are going to show up. So.
Yeah. I'm unfortunate that unfortunately the next regional that's nearby is hours away.
Yeah.
And I want my invite, so I got to go.
All right, well. I mean, I think as long as you have people that you're going with, the travel usually isn't bad, but trying to make those drives alone is not fun. Especially if you lose too, like you just show up and you start you lose your first 2 games. You're like, oh great, now I just spent an hour plus hour and a half driving for me to literally pack my shit up and go home.
Yep.
So it's at least if you're with people, like you're at least hanging out, you're having a good time, at least for the most part. Maybe you're not having a good time, but you at least have people there to pick up your spirits a little bit.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Well, after the regional, because last week we were talking about the ban list, let's kind of recap the ban list now that we've at least had a big event. How do you feel about the last ban list?
Well, it was a pretty big one. my initial assessment of Ryziel was based off the fact that I still thought Snake Eyes Zamna was going to be like easily the best deck. After they didn't even slaughter Snake Eyes, they just banned original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, which completely cuts the bridge between them. Ryziel Fiendsmith is definitely the best. Uh, I still don't think the format's bad per se. I think there's clear best deck, but the ban list did a good job of getting rid of unfavored decks, is what I'm going to call them. Decks that people are kind of sick of.
Yeah, I think that's fair because I think like the Snake Eye cards have been out now for like what, a year and a half now. I think it is about time for them to take a step back, and forcing them to take a step back by making it not a splashable engine that you play in every fire deck. You're not, using these cards to make negates anymore. So I think it's good. I mean, it's not like other fire decks are really, I mean, yeah, they're hurting because you just, took away a plus like 2 or something like that from them, but they still are doing things because like I've played against that Fire King deck and Fire Kings are still pretty good.
No, yeah. When I played against it at the regional, it was scary. Like, fortunately, I knew how to play against it. Flip their stuff face down and chain SP to banish the Doolittle Chimera. But when it goes off, it goes off.
Yeah, and you always have Princess. Like Princess is such a good interaction. Like there's so much that you can do with it. So they'll, I think as it sits, Fire's not completely dead, and it's given just enough space for new decks to move in, and that's kind of where Malice and Ryziel sit. The Fiendsmith cards I think could have been adjusted a little bit more, personally, because I feel like
Yeah, I could agree to that.
I think
Something
yeah,
indirect, I feel like could have been good for it. Like, I don't know if this is crazy talk or not, but banning the Fabled Lurie, I think, slows the deck down. Not a whole lot, but enough.
yeah, because that kind of takes away your link one into, your combo. I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I making it less of a splashable engine is probably the best way to go about it because like you don't. I mean, putting Engraver to 1 doesn't seem like the best plan, and like no one else plays anything really. Other like the trap cards are bad. Like I literally watched a player at locals brick on the trap cards and literally shred them in front of their opponent. It was round 4. They're like, they looked at their hand, they passed. Actually, no, first he looked at his hand and said, "You got it." And then his opponent was like, "No, no, no, you have to have something. You have to have some sort of interaction." And then he shows his hand of like double ogre, ash, and then 2 trap cards and goes, "I can't play."
Oh God.
Yeah. And then they go, "Yeah, my hand's cracked. There's no way that there's no way you win this." So yeah, they literally are like, "All right, well, I'm going to take this trap card and shred it. We're not playing this anymore." So
Yeah. I mean, like the only one that is really played is I think it's called Fiendsmith in Paradise, and it's like it's basically played to just immediately be sent to the graveyard.
yeah, it didn't, whatever it was, it did not pan out for them. So as a splashable engine, I think it could be adjusted. I think pure Fiendsmith or like mainly Fiendsmith with a little bit of splash in still could be fine, but I just don't know because I think right now it's just being used as a splashable engine in everything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my take is maybe you should have hit the Fiendsmith engine a little bit harder, and then I don't know. That's kind of like I think as it sits right now, I think yeah, I'm in agreement that I think the new format is still fairly healthy, being the decks that are good are still fairly new, and we're not even at a point where we know the best way to play them. Like, because I don't know if Malice players really even know what they're doing. I keep bringing up Malice and Malice players not knowing what they're doing, but I haven't seen anything that says that this deck is the best except for like 1 or 2 combos where they just like spill out their entire hand and then like go through and like by the end of your opponent's turn they'll have like 6 or 7 cards in their hand and a full board of stuff. So it's like I feel like some players get it, but I just don't know if that's really, it's just inconsistency problems or if it's just the player problem. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think things could have been adjusted a little bit differently, but that's a personal preference. I think we are in a good spot right now.
Yeah, I just, still being salty. I wish Shifter was banned.
Yeah, there's a lot to be a lot. That ban list is going to be real big. That's going to be a real big one because there's going to be a lot of things that need to be changed if Shifter's got to go.
Get rid of the card.
I don't know.
Enough of my complaining though.
I don't even think it's like you can't play Shifter in the best decks, so I don't think it's that good. Like you're not playing it in Ryzel. Like you're not going to play it in Fiendsmith stuff, so I don't think that Shifter is that good of a card. Shifter is a card for rogue decks.
Yeah, that's valid.
But I think that's going to be a good. I think that was a good discussion on our regional and a little bit of a recap for the ban list. Being we did talk about that last week, and now we've had a good, at least a couple events since that happened. So let's do a move on, right? I guess as for the locals event that I attended but didn't play at. I mean, I was just there hanging out, watching things, and our locals is all Ryzel and Malice now. Like, I swear, I think we had like 15 players, and I swear like 12 of them are playing the deck. And Big Man's coming back and playing Ryzel. And if you know who Big Man is, he hasn't played. If he's playing Ryzel, that says something to me at least.
Means the deck is good.
Means the deck is good. So. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna hang up the locals discussion and the Yu-Gi-Oh chat, at least for now, because I would like to move on to some chess.
All right. Let me open that up.
Yeah, same here actually. Let me get my stuff adjusted and moved around so that I'm not doing the infinity screen. All right.
I've been on a little bit of a losing streak right now for chess, unfortunately, so I'm hoping I can break that off today.
No, I don't want to search a random person.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
resign. All right, let's see where it. Oh, I had 3 blunders, so we both got a solid 100. Oh, it said you played at a 200 and I played at a 600. Solid. I had a brilliant move. Let's figure out what that one was. All right.
I just feel like I had so many bad moves that I can't even justify.
Okay. Well, because I'm great and I forgot to switch the camera, let's take a look. All right. Game review. E4, it's great. E5's most common response. Yep, this is all book stuff. Okay, that's what I can't say that I did this wrong, but I didn't do it right. I'm supposed to take the knight there. I didn't do that. Great. That was okay. Great. Because I left the pawn, but I didn't protect it. But that gets you off of the file. That was your great move. Forked me. And I picked the wrong space. Supposed to take the bishop there, and I didn't. Cool. This was just a back and forth of neither one of us really knowing what was going on. I would say not knowing what's going on, but it was. Yeah. Great. This loses a queen. Does it though? I mean, I have to figure out the moves. This choice loses a knight.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I've just been on a terrible losing streak recently. Like, I'm pretty sure my ELO has dropped like 50 points.
Woof.
Yeah. In the past, like, 2 weeks.
Oh, they just say take the pawn, take it. Okay. Oh. Oh, I should have just challenged your rook. Yeah, that makes sense. Taking the bishop back. And we're just going to speed through the rest of this because I won't say speed through the rest of it. Great move. Ah, there's my brilliant move, is sacrificing the bishop.
Yep. Yeah. As soon as that hit me, I was like, yep, there's the game, set, match, everything.
Yeah. And then I was road to checkmate. All right. That was chess this week. Yeah, Bader was Bader was white. I apologize for not setting it up correctly in the beginning, but yes, Bader was white. And then yeah, this was our game.
It was a rough one.
Well, if there's any consolation, I can almost guarantee that we're going to play a very similar game next week, at least opening wise. So just remember a few more moves in the opening. Maybe it'll get you a better position in the end game. But that is going to be chess for le week. And let's move on. Let's move on back to talking about stuff, cards, things, new stuff specifically. Is there any new Yu-Gi-Oh sets that have been announced that we have not talked about?
Supreme Darkness comes out in I think 3 weeks or so. 4 weeks maybe.
Get a meta shake up here real soon then.
Heroes is getting a lot of support, so that'll be cool.
We do have
What
a
else?
Heroes player currently at locals, so that's cool to hear that they're getting new stuff. I mean, they have a bunch of good stuff, but you know, they're not super good, so it's cool to see.
Yeah. White Force is getting another new card, which is a couple, which I'm excited about. Clearly,
I mean, yeah, if it's good, obviously you want it, right? And like,
and
I'm kind of taking a gander at the products list on the page, and I see Quarter Century Stampede.
oh yeah, yep, that's coming out in April. That's a long ways away.
That one's gonna be good though, because that one's like another like rarity collection set, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and it's supposed to be like top tier.
I'm seeing a Maze of the Master set coming out in March.
That I have no clue about anything on.
Well, as I'm looking through the pictures that they have on the website, on the official Yu-Gi-Oh website, I'm seeing at least 4 Trickstar cards. So I can't say that it's going to be my favorite set, but it's going to be a thing. Let's see. They announce 10 new Egyptian and trap monster themed inspired cards, inspired by Odin's Battle City deck. 7 new cards for the Galaxy Tachyon deck from Zexal. 7 new cards for Kaiba's XYZ monsters from Battle City and used again in Chaz and GX. 7 new Trickstar cards inspired by Blue Angels deck from Vrains. 7 new Performage monsters from Arc V, and then 60 new cards in total. So that's cool. And you mentioned Supreme Darkness, where Crossover Breakers? What is this? December 5th. So that just came out. So this is this last set. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, this is
Yeah,
Ryziel and Mal,
that's
I see.
where Ryziel came from.
And Ryugi. Okay. You can tell how into Yu-Gi-Oh I am. I don't even know what sets are out right now. Yeah, Supreme Darkness. What do we got? Yeah, Hero Monsters. What is this? This is Synchro Monsters. Oh, Clearwing cards. Cool. Crit
Oh yeah,
Draw
so the
cards.
Stardust archetype.
And a new theme bouncing around. This deck works by placing its continuous trap monsters straight into the spell and trap zone. Cool. And then it gives constant buff to all warrior monsters. So there may be some overlying synergies with the rest of the warrior stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, I haven't looked too far into the future, but basically Supreme Darkness is what is going to be shaking up our locals at least.
Yeah, I from what I'm seeing, yeah.
Hero.
Now, I will say, moving on to a different game, Flesh and Blood. We are getting some spoilers. Like we're kind of in our spoiler season for our January set, but we have not had all of our cards announced yet. And I want to talk about all of the cards at one time, or at least a good chunk of the cards at one time, because obviously they all go together. So I don't want to like talk about 2 cards this week and then 5 cards next week. I just want to like hit it all at one time. So be on the lookout for Flesh and Blood cards next week. I heard One Piece just had a set OP09 drop. So, if you're into One Piece, there you go. More cards.
Do you play much One Piece?
I have a couple One Piece decks. Unfortunately, I'm not super into the meta game of the like into like it keeping up or anything, but I do know how to play and I have a couple decks, but from what I understand, even the decks that I have now have upgrades and are beyond, the first few sets of the game. So even older decks now are souped up. Pokemon.
Gotcha.
Let's see what Pokemon have anything cool coming up.
The Evolution set that's coming out, but I don't think that's for a couple months. All I know is a lot of those EV Evolution cards are going to be expensive.
Let's see, and they just had the new set release for their Pocket game, right? Not too terribly long ago.
Yeah, that game just released a new set too. Actually, completely forgot about that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It looks like a Celebi deck is kind of taking storm.
Yeah, yep. Celebi. The previous best deck was like arguably between Mewtwo and Charizard. I think Mewtwo was probably better than Charizard, but right now, like the best decks, in my opinion, is probably Celebi. Mewtwo is still a really good deck, but Celebi, its attack is just 2 energies, and it's flip a coin for every energy and do 50 damage for each heads you get.
Oh, nice.
But you play a Servine line. So Servine's Sir something and Superior. Oh, Snivy. Snivy, Servine, Superior.
Mm-hmm.
Superior has the ability that grass energies count as 2. So if you put 2 grass energies on your Celebi, that's 4 coin flips to try to do up to 200 damage.
Oh yeah, and then you're just flipping coins. So if you just get lucky and get like 5 heads in a row, you're bodying people.
Yep, the most coins I've gotten was or coin flips. I've gotten 16 energy just because I decided to not kill my opponent, just to kind of BM them.
Mm-hmm.
So I could put 16 energy on my Celebi and flip 32 coins and got like 27 heads. Oh, it felt so good.
I really hope that the person that you played against just put their phone down for a little bit and then walked away and then, had a good breather after that. Because if I'm not going to lie, if I had to sit and watch my opponent flip 32 coins even in a video game, I'd be a little upset. Just a little bit.
Especially considering 27, that's what? 1,350 damage? when like the most HP one of the Pokemon has in this game, I believe, is 180. Yeah, it was.
So unnecessary, but it's funny.
That's all I was going for.
That's awesome. No, I still have yet to dip my toes into this game because it seems I don't know, not for me. I'm not a big
Yeah,
not a big fan of like. I mean, I wasn't into Master Duel. I'm not really like into Magic Online or Arena. I don't know. Something about having cards in my hand is just so much better than playing in a video game.
no, I totally agree. But this is just like I basically do it for opening packs just to get my little itch of that every day.
Oh yeah, there you go. You get your hourly like is it 4 hours? You get a pack or something like that.
It's actually 12. Every 12 hours, you get one
Damn,
pack.
that's rough.
Yeah, so you get 2 packs a day, but that's better than going to, I don't know,
That's
Target or Walmart.
That's $8 right there if you want to open Pokemon. Well, I mean, well, $10 really if you want to open Pokemon packs. So yeah, a free pack every 12 hours. That actually seems pretty decent if you're into opening packs. So there you go. If you aren't into the Pokemon game, but you really like opening packs, get the Pokemon game.
It's a lot of fun opening packs.
But I think that's going to be all I really have for product talk because I don't really have anything else. Like I said, we'll have stuff for Flesh and Blood hopefully next week when we have all the stuff spoiled. But until then, I'm going to hold off on Flesh and Blood stuff. So, do you happen to have anything else that you want to hit before we jump into the bowl?
I don't think so. There's not too much else popping off in Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! As far as I can think of, anyways.
All right, perfect. Then I think that is time that we move on to the fish bowl. Boo, 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 boo. As you can see, it's got a few more things in there than last week. I'm gonna do the old. I'm gonna look this way, so I'm not looking at myself, and then I'm gonna put it right here, so I can't see what's the bowl is. I'm gonna try to get my hand in there. Okay, it's too tall. All right, we'll go like this. I can't see. I promise. All right. Oh, and I pick like 5 things. All right, pick one. All right, perfect. All right, and this week, the topic, well, I say the topic, but is a would you rather. Would you rather get second place at every event moving forward or win worlds and then never place in top cut again?
Easily second place at every event.
I think so too. Like as cool as winning worlds would be, I don't know. I don't know. Like the one time in being done, I just feel like, oh, everyone's like, oh, well, you're just a flash in the pan. You just got lucky or you cheated. So
yeah, your 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, I think the Jesse Cotton approach of, well, I'll get second place at every event, and then, you know, statistically, I say statistically, but eventually you should win. But obviously, in the would you rather, you're never going to win again. But, you know, if you just show up and you're like, oh, that guy's there, he's going to get second place, guarantee it. Like, I think it's pretty cool status. Even you might not be the guy, but getting second place, I think it's cool.
I think that it would actually be kind of cool where if you knew it was your destiny to get second place, you could almost essentially choose who wins the event. So
yes, I mean, because if you're going second, you're going to be undefeated almost the entire event, and then you either lose the last round or you, I guess, get a draw somewhere and then don't lose, and then your opponent just goes undefeated.
So how I would think of it is, we'll use like someone from our locals, one of like the younger kids, for example.
Mm-hmm.
If you play against them round 1, and you're like, I know my destiny is to get second place today, you can just play terribly and have that kid have the best locals of their life.
Yeah,
they went undefeated at locals with their coin flip, fairy box, Sasuke Samurai number 2 deck. I'm actually more describing one of our Lincoln players, but
yeah.
but you could give them the best day of their life every single week if you wanted to, because it is your destiny to get second place. And if the only person who beats you, that like they have to get first. Like
I guess I
I
wasn't
don't
thinking about
know.
it like
There's
that. If you're like, I know that I'm gonna get second place. I
Yeah, because like their tiebreakers would have to be exactly perfect to like. There's just no way that they could beat you and just not get first place. I feel like at a local level, anyways.
so,
Bigger events, it's a little more likely
so you're like
that someone else can.
intentionally choosing who you lose to. It could be like your round 3 opponent. You're like, I want you to win, so I'm gonna lose to you.
Yeah, and I just think I think that'd be so cool.
I think that would actually be like a sick skill. Like I obviously like you can't do it, but if that was possible, that would be awesome.
What would you choose? Oh no, you said second place. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I would choose being second place, even if it was like, oh, I won Yu-Gi-Oh Worlds, and then I never placed in top cut at Yu-Gi-Oh again, but then I moved on to Pokemon and I won Pokemon Worlds, and then I never placed again in Pokemon because like even in that scenario where I'm like, I've won every. Actually, I don't know. I say it like that though. If I was able to change games and then win Worlds for that game, I think I would actually rather do that.
I I got a counterpoint to you.
Oh.
Prize support for top 8.
Hmm.
In Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah, prize support. You get a piece of cardboard and a play mat and what is Nintendo Switch or like an air fryer
I
now
was just
apparently
gonna say the air
somewhere.
fryer.
So you can have a lot of air fryers, but like going to Pokemon regionals, getting second place at those consistently, that is a full income.
I'm
If you go to every single regional, you don't need a job. You could literally just live off of Pokemon regional second places.
think about it from me though, where I play so many card games. How cool would it be to be like, that's the guy that's won worlds in every card game except for poker because he hasn't played poker yet. I think that'd be cool. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if that's a scenario where I'm like, I'm winning any one event that I'm going, or like any one big event that I'm going to, and then that's it. Absolutely. Actually, I think maybe I'll do that. If you can play enough games and win them, sure. Like, oh,
Yeah, that's fair.
if like, oh yeah, year one, if it's a new card game, you can almost guarantee that this guy is gonna win worlds. Like, I actually that seems more up my alley than getting second place all the time, but I definitely
That's
see the
fair.
point. I definitely see the point of like, oh, if you're going to like Pokemon or Flesh and Blood and you're getting second every single time, you're making bank.
And like you said, with the getting first place, you could just be like, yeah, my whole goal was just to win worlds, and I'm retiring for the game. Move on to the next game,
Yeah.
and just play the game casually with friends and get stomped on. And be like, man, how'd you win worlds?
Good
It
question.
was
I
just
don't
my day.
know. I mean, and then, like I said, there wasn't any like sort of specific like game labeled. So yeah, sure, I would love to win the World Series of Poker. Sure, absolutely, I would love that paycheck.
What about them taxes though?
It'd be worth it. It.
Yeah,
I mean, and then you got to think about names that you're playing against too. Like when you get to poker and you're playing against people like Magnus Carlsen, who's world chess of champ, well, I'd say was a world chess champion. Uh, that seems pretty cool too. Like I don't know, the bigger
yeah.
I don't know. It's all preference again. There's no right answer here. I think if you were able to get second place at every event you go to, that would be cool. If you were able to win worlds in any one card game I would say every single time, but at least even one time, I think that'd be cool too. So,
Yeah, that's a title you keep forever.
so if you're listening, obviously on Twitch, you know, you can just say what you want to do. But if you're on YouTube, feel free to, you know, answer. You know, if what would you do if you had the choice to go for, or say if you had the choice to go to any event and you got second place at that event guaranteed, or you go to the biggest event for the game and you're guaranteed to win. Like you're just going to win and then you never win anything else in that game again. What would you do? Leave that in the comments below. And then I can't say that I'm going to like, you know, talk about them next week. Cause you know, next week we're going to have a whole new discussion, but I'm at least going to read them. You know, I always like to hear what your guys' opinions are. So feel free to leave them.
Start the comment with butterfly, so we know you heard all this.
Butterfly, yeah, that's a good one. Well, I think that is going to be the ending point for tonight, though, because I think we've kind of hit the topic well enough, and we're pushing that hour. They're pushing that hour mark, so I think it's a good time. So, Bader, hit us with all of the parting words that you can possibly think of.
Wolfie Glick is the best Pokemon VGC player of all time, without a doubt. He has won more regionals than most people combined. He will probably never say goodbye to the VGC competitive scene, like how I'm going to say goodbye to all of you guys tonight.
I am going to say, I have been getting people who have been coming up to me at locals and just in public, actually, not like obviously like out on the street or something, but like at the regional, I had people like come up to me and say, "Hey, I've listened to the podcast. I like it." Like that, you know, shout out to you guys. You guys are the ones that are awesome. Like you guys show up to locals every week. Like if you're showing up, you're playing games, you know, just being there is the hardest part. So shout out to you for showing up, you know, making an awesome experience for me to even show up and talk about. Like, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be wanting to talk about, oh man, I had a shitty time at the card shop. No, I wouldn't want to talk about that. I talk about going to the card shop because I have such a good time and I want to tell people about it. So shout out to you guys. Genuinely, I appreciate you.
I have something to add on to that.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I know I think I know who you're talking about. And they called me out once I saw them at the regional for having a bad take on floodgates. So you know they were listening.
That's awesome. Like that's genuinely like I can't say. I mean, obviously that's an opinion thing too. So like their opinion's different from yours, but that is funny to me. That's cool. Like when they've listened well enough to where they know what your opinion is. Like that's cool.
And guess what he was playing that day?
I'm assuming a shifter deck. So
he was playing Floodgate Dragoon Stun.
Oh wow.
He enjoys floodgates.
Yeah, he just wanted to play the floodgates, and you're like, "Oh, screw you for disliking floodgates! How dare you?" Sure,
but at least he was honest with his opinion and a true loyal listener.
Hey, that means the world to me. I genuinely don't care what your favorite cards are, because you know everybody's favorite card's gonna be different. But if you're gonna sit and you're gonna listen to people talk about, you know, just the game in general, and especially like where I'm like talking about locals and you're sitting and listening to me talk about locals, like that means the world to me. So awesome. That is, shout out to you guys. Really, it really means a lot. So in a fork to that, support your locals. I got to say it before you did. Yeah, support your locals, because that's obviously where you're going to meet cool people and play cool card games. So if you don't support them, you don't buy packs there, you don't, you know, buy the shirts, you're gonna have to find a place to play, and not everybody wants to show up at your kitchen table.
But I would show up at yours, Dylan.
Oh, I'd show up at yours too. I have showed up at yours, if I'm not mistaken.
You still have that picture.
So, well, I think this is where we part. Everybody listening, have a great night. We will see you all next week. Support your locals. Don't get slow played. Don't use heavy dice. And do a little bit of thinking about you at the top and how you would want to be seen at the top. So for myself, I'm going to say good night. Bader,
And
what you
for
got?
myself, I will say toodaloo, buckaroos.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.